Hey everyone, my name is Dante and welcome back to Story Hub, your hub for the best stories on Reddit. We've been married a long time. Mother-in-law was mostly Beck and I've been low to no contact for probably the last 10 years and my life has been divine because of that. DH doesn't mind because he gets lots of romance when his mom isn't interfering in our relationship. But way back, I tried so hard to get on her good side. I was such a sweet summer child. I thought to myself she should be happy for DH. I cooked and cleaned and threw parties and most people liked me. But she was sly, so DH didn't catch the nuances of her behavior. I tried to point it out, with little luck, because I had no experience with a woman like this. We left for our honeymoon a week after our wedding, enough time for us to set up our small apartment and get cozy living together beforehand. We left for a week with the keys left to mother-in-law to fetch our mail and various things. When we got back she had completely rearranged my kitchen, the living room, threw out some of my pictures and knickknacks from our bedroom, and I swear she also tossed some of my lingerie. I was upset, so upset and cried to DH. He, angry at his mom, talked to her then came home with the usual, can you guess it? She can't imagine why I'd be upset. She was being so helpful. She didn't mean to do anything wrong, and the tears came at her bidding so that DH was thrown for a loop, never having experienced woman-to-woman territorial stomps. He came home spewing her diatribe and simply told me that he would help me put things back. And he did, except for the kitchen. He only made things worse in there but not for lack of trying. Mother-in-law never even taught him to butter bread. Sigh. But I learned a valuable lesson. Whenever mother-in-law was up to her shenanigans, she would wait until we were alone, look at me and do this evil smile with a nod, sort of like those sup gifs, to acknowledge her disdain for me properly. I learned from the best, the very best. Mother-in-law was the town pillar, active in church and charity, and so sweet to the people she approved of. So, here is the meat of this post. Mother-in-law is old now, and still just as sneaky. If anything, old age has sharpened her skills, and she has taken on the role of helpless old lady quite fabulously. There are volunteers who help her and bring her meals, sit and read with her, it's all quite nice, really. She did a week-long stint in the hospital recently, and DH got the key to her house to retrieve her mail, etc. etc. Well, I made a copy of said key, without DH knowing, of course, because I had a plan. During that week, I took some time off work, I was so sick. Don't you know, and let myself into her house to clean her kitchen. I also threw away some broken porcelain and other items. They weren't necessary, took pictures off the walls and put them in the closet. Then I rearranged the linen closet, the coat closet, mother-in-law's closet and her bathrooms. Both of them. I left the living room mostly alone, sadly, but I didn't want DH to catch on. Then, on the day DH was supposed to pick her up from the hospital and bring her home, I offered to help DH clean her house for her homecoming. He was mildly surprised at my offer, but I said I've decided to let bygones be bygones. I will help, then get out of the way so DH could help mother-in-law get settled in. She can mostly live by herself, with a little help every day from a CNA and husband to check in on her. So we cleaned, mopped, and vacuumed. Got everything sparkly and clean. I went with DH to fetch his mom and sat in the back seat. When we arrived, mother-in-law immediately noticed things were askew but she couldn't tell what it was yet. Then she noticed the missing pictures. Mill, what did you do with my pictures? DH and me, what do you mean? Mill, you stole my pictures. Me, oh my, no mother-in-law, I helped DH clean and that's all. DH confirmed that is all I did. I asked if she'd like some tea, and she yelled at me to stay out of her kitchen. She went in herself and screamed what had we done. I looked at DH all puzzled and DH repeated that he and I only cleaned the counters and dishes, and mopped. Mother-in-law was livid, so I told DH that my presence must be upsetting to her so maybe I should leave. DH, confused because he had no idea why his mom was acting so outwardly hostile to me, agreed. So I cheerfully told mother-in-law that I'd be on my way and DH could call me when he's ready to be picked up. That's all DH heard. He didn't see me smile at mother-in-law because he was facing my back. And I nodded at her with her very own signature nod. She was livid. DH told me on the way home, when I went to pick him up a few hours later, that she had accused me of all sorts of things, and that's when I said the poor dear's mind must be going. He agrees. The poor thing is getting so old, after all. She should have been nicer to me. I get to help pick her nursing home, and I know very well how to play the helpful supportive role. Thanks mother-in-law, not the idiot. May St. Louis of the Garden Hose bless you abundantly for your invisible mental hose of pressure washer strength. May his salsa refresh you as you rest from your labors. May our llamas be grateful and sleep well tonight with their full bellies. Ramen, not the idiot. God, this was amazing to read. My mother-in-law is dead, soon to be joined by idiot father-in-law, so I don't have to deal with that nonsense anymore. But this. I kissed my fingers like when you eat an excellent meal and showed how great it was to the chef. Bellissima, not the idiot. My grandmother, father's mom, was definitely a JNMIL and did something similar to my family when I was a kid. We went on vacation and she cleaned the whole house, rearranged our rooms, etc. I couldn't find some things for weeks. She also flushed a bunch of my living fish right in front of me claiming they were dead. I wish I had gotten to get her back for some of the bitchy things she did. But not seeing her grandchildren for 10 years probably did hurt at least a little bit. Now for the next story. I am a 29 years old gay man in a Muslim country. I met my BF during my senior year of college. He helped me a lot to come out to my close friends, to accept being gay. I got through a couple of depression thanks to him. The guilt that I had because of being gay is thanks to his advice and compassion. This year, I have been finding him physically less attractive. I stopped watching porn since I thought it had an effect. I tried to convince myself about the value of the relationship and can overcome this phase. Ending a relationship over lack of physical attraction seemed so superficial, and I blamed myself for thinking about it, especially considering the support my boyfriend gave to me all these years. Once I told him I desire other guys and he told me everybody does, it is a part of being in a relationship. He got some sex clothes, but I was uncomfortable wearing them. I could see that he was working on the issue too. Finally, I started this bad habit of chatting guys on dating apps and exchanging photos etc. a couple of months ago. I was always sure that I would never actually meet someone in person. I never did. However, last night, he caught me on the app and broke up with me. I did the same thing 3 years ago and he forgave me back then. He is not forgiving now since it is a recurring thing I do now. I cannot blame him. He is absolutely right. I really loved him, I still do. Really quick, if you're enjoying the video, don't forget to drop a like. I cry when I think about the way he talks, hugs, looks at me. He is the most helpful guy to me in the last 6 years. He is really handsome and fun. I feel regretful for what I did. The fact that I did it for a long time makes me even more shameful. I can't stop thinking about how he feels right now. The picture of his sorrowful face and how disappointed he is does not go away from my mind. I should have ended the relationship before things became like this, or not go on a dating app at all. I was saying to myself I love him and me not desiring him is inevitable in a long-term relationship, but I did not want to leave him. I know I am using this as a confession board. Crying here does not revert anything, but I just can't stop thinking about it and I might get some insights from you guys. Maybe I should just wait and hope for the best for him, but I am eating myself alive. You're the idiot. It seems like you are never able to be free and explore yourself. That's what you're seeking. Something that makes you excited. Long-term relationships are about commitment. It takes work and dedication to someone. But you have to be ready. I'd focus on you and take some time to figure out what you want and explore. Of course you love him and miss your BF. He was a huge part of your life for 6 years. It's like losing a really close best friend. Now for the next story. My fiancé, M and F, both 20, and I have been together since middle school and will be getting married July 2023. For the most part, his family has always been very welcoming of me, and considering how long we've been together, I considered myself to be part of his family and him part of mine. Apparently I was wrong. His sister, 25, female, unfollowed and removed me from her social media. I had her cell number, so I texted her asking why. She responded with, "I didn't mean to offend you, but I deleted everyone except my family. You can reach me through my number if you need to get a hold of me." When I showed my fiancé, he felt like she was being rude and assured me the rest of the family does not share her view of me. This is where it gets dicey. Her and her boyfriend, let's call him Jay, have been together for 5 months. At the family Christmas party, she made a remark about not seeing why I was invited because I'm not a part of the family, and their mother defended me, and my fiancé said her boyfriend is not part of the family either, so he shouldn't have been invited either. She didn't like that and told my fiancé that he was being rude and making Jay feel like an outsider. Now we are working on invitations for our wedding. We are planning on keeping it quite small, only family and maybe a couple close friends. I was feeling really petty and decided to let her know that her invite did not include Jay because we are only inviting family. She hasn't responded yet, but I'm feeling a bit guilty and like maybe I should just drop the petty revenge and take it back. All of his 4 siblings except her are single, and so are all of my 3 siblings. So plus ones weren't even something we had to think about until she started being a shithead. Since she herself said that we aren't family, I didn't think she should be invited at all. But alas, my fiancé brought me to my senses and made me realize there's no reason to be that petty. But since according to her I'm not family after 7 years, then what on earth makes her think her boyfriend is family after less than a year? Additional info. Future mother-in-law and father-in-law both stuck up for me on Christmas and told her there's no reason for her to act like I'm not part of the family after all this time. My parents think I'm being petty, but that she deserves it. My mother said something along the lines of, "It's so bad, but it's so good." Fiancé says not inviting her is too far. I agree, but that there's no reason for Jay to be invited anyway. We don't know him and nobody else is bringing a +1, so why should she? Not the idiot. I know this is petty revenge, but personally, I'd do the age-old kill them with kindness, because your in-laws will continue to have your back as long as you remain diligent and respectful. She's showing her true colors and only making a rod for her own back, so I would just let her continue and watch the shit show implode with some snacks. Not the idiot. Don't take the role of being a piece of shot away from her, be the bigger person. If for no other reason, then she can't accuse you of being anything else. Then if she doesn't come, she really looks like an idiot. And if she does, it looks like you cut her a break when you didn't have to. Thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed, don't forget to like and subscribe.